Are you ready to experience what could be the most beneficial hotel branded credit card available across the board today? Well, I think you're about to find out, because in this review, I'm going to cut right into the details of what you need to know about the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless credit card from Chase. I'll show you how it could improve your wallet setup, as well as the unique experiences and benefits that this card provides to enhance your overall travels. That being said, not everything I have to share about this card is positive, so listen to see where it falls short and if that impacts your overall decision. I'll tell you right off the bat that this is one of my most well-rounded hotel credit cards that I've gone into detail with, but even though it checks my boxes, make sure that it checks your own as well. Today, I'm going to share with you a whole bunch about the Bonvoy Boundless, but I'm going to try to keep it to just what you need to know to fully understand this card in about the next 10 minutes. Here's how we're going to do that. We'll talk about the single biggest reason why most people want to get this card. We'll go into the earnings rates and what you can actually get from spending on the card, as well as the other benefits that come from being a card holder. Of course, I'll talk about how status is impacted there and earning status with Marriott before going into the negatives, talking about how it compares to some of the other credit cards in the Marriott credit card family, and then tell you the best strategy that I see people out there utilizing this card when integrating it into a wallet. My goal for you is for you to be able to leave this video with a full understanding as to whether the Bonvoy Boundless is really a right card to add into your own wallet. The Chase branded Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card is one of 4 different Marriott branded credit cards. Interestingly enough, 2 of these cards are issued by Chase, while 2 are issued by American Express. Now today, we're going to talk about the Chase branded one. Out of the 2 Chase cards, it's the highest annual fee in the Marriott lineup that they publicly offer that you can apply for, and the fee on this card is just $95. By far the biggest draw that brings people into the Bonvoy Boundless is the potential for a really high welcome offer. Uniquely on this card, when the welcome offer is good, it far exceeds a standard welcome offer. And the one I'm talking about specifically is the welcome offer that you can get 5 free night certificates valued up to 50,000 Marriott points upon signing up and meeting the minimum spend requirement. Now, like other Chase cards, this offer varies from time to time. When I'm recording it today, the offer is currently 3 free nights, and sometimes it will be valued in only points, which gives you a little bit more flexibility than a free night certificate. But the 5 free nights is the gold standard and the one people are willing to wait on to get this card when the time is right. Regardless, there is some insane value no matter when you decide to spring for the card. Let me show you. To value this card, you have to understand that Marriott points are worth about 0.7 cents a point each. But to convert this into a cash value is pretty simple. If you get the maximum offer available with the 5 free nights valued at 50,000 points per certificate, that's up to 250,000 points you could be spending, and a cash value that equates to roughly $1,750. 3 free nights is around 150,000 points, and that turns into a cash value still of over $1,000 upon sign up. Finally, they sometimes juggle a point offer in here, like I said, and if you get one around 120,000 points, you're still getting approximately $840 in cash value, when of course redeemed for hotel stays on just that initial sign up. Even if you compare it outside of a hotel card system, this compares really favorably to the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which sometimes has elevated offers of 70,000 points, which are worth about $875 in travel, or the City Strata Premier and the standard 75,000 welcome point offer, and that's worth about $750 in travel. Now those of course are transferable point currencies and may hold a little bit more value in your mind, but when you're going for a hotel branded credit card, I expect most people want to redeem it for hotel nights at their preferred properties. Let's look at the earnings rates on this card, which are okay, but not good or great in my opinion. You'll get 3x back on gas, grocery stores, and dining, up to a combined spend in those categories of $6,000 a year. That's roughly $500 a month you can budget for those elevated rates. When you book at a Marriott property, you're going to get 17x points per dollar spent at Marriott Bonvoy hotels. This breaks into a 6x bonus from the card itself, 10x for being a Marriott Bonvoy member, and 1x for the Silver Elite membership status that you get, which is granted upon receipt of the card itself. For any other purchase you spend on the card, you get 2x points back. Like I said, these are okay, but not good or great earnings. You have to remember that the value of the points are a little less than the standard 1 cent that you find on most credit cards, and therefore you have to adjust your expectations accordingly. Let's look at the benefits. There are a number, but I'm going to pull out what are the key benefits that really make a difference for some people when they think about this card. First of all, let's talk hotel status. With the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, you're going to get Silver Elite status automatically through Marriott. What does that actually mean though? Well, first of all, you do get that 10% more points on stays. You'll get priority late checkout, which yes, does move the needle a little bit for me. And then you'll get complimentary Wi-Fi as well, which I have a tough time seeing how they list that as a benefit, considering it's pretty standard everywhere I go, but they still do list it there too. You're also going to get 15 Elite Night credits per year. This in and of itself will get you partially to gold status, but you're still 10 Elite Night credits short from achieving gold, which is that next level up the Marriott status ladder. I'll make sure to show on the screen what gold status entails so you can kind of decide if that's worth it for you to chase that status. There are 2 specific benefits tied to your spending volume. The first is for every 5K you spend on the card, you'll get an additional 1 Elite Night credit towards that next level of status. The other feature is anytime you spend $35,000 on the card, you'll instantly be upgraded to that Elite Night gold status as well, giving you a second route to get there. These benefits really encourage you to take this card and use it as your primary credit card to spend on, but given how I broke down the points before and how they're a little less valuable than a typical credit card, you'll have to juggle in your own wallet whether that's a worthwhile strategy for you or not. Finally, the last benefit I really want to point out is that every single anniversary year, you get a free night certificate with a value that can be redeemed up to 35,000 Marriott points. This is less than the award of 50,000 that you could get upon sign up, depending on when you decide to sign up with the card. But 35,000 points, that's nothing to laugh at either. You could still get into a room that would normally cost a little under $250 for that kind of point value. Now, I did share a lot of positives, but now it's time to talk realistically about the negatives of holding the card. First of all is the $95 annual fee. This isn't a big negative to me because I'm not too intolerant of annual fees as long as I see a way to get value that exceeds the fee that I'm paying. But for some of you out there who aren't committed to traveling 1 night a year to use that free night certificate, you may see this and say the card is not right for you at this time. The second thing I look at is that this is not a primary card in a wallet setup. I'll explain at the end how I think this can be best fit into a wallet, but the earning rates across the board just aren't great. And I would highly discourage anybody from using this as their catch-all card, even though it earns 2x back, locking yourself into Marriott points and with the decreasing value of those points is just not a great long-term strategy. Finally, Silver Elite status is pretty disappointing, and you'll be surprised to know that Marriott does have some transfer partners, but the points get so devalued when you send them out of Marriott that it's really hard to find any good use for those at any one of the 39 airlines in their transfer partner list. I think it's important to know how this card compares to the Marriott lineup. I'll give you my view, which is a little biased because I do think highly of this card, but it could contextualize and just give a different perspective as to where I see it amongst its peers. Compared to the Chase Marriott Bold card, a $0 annual fee card, the Bonvoy Boundless at least provides some value, whereas I don't see anything coming out of the Bold card. There's no free night certificate, the welcome bonus is small, and really, it's not going to do much for you if you go that direction. On the American Express side, the price points get way higher. The American Express Bonvoy Bevy starts off at $250, and that card doesn't even offer a free night. Well, it actually does, but you have to spend $15,000 on the card before you can activate that benefit. That's a huge no-no for me, especially when you're spending $250 just to hold that card. On the other hand, you have the Bonvoy Brilliant, a $650 premium credit card from Marriott. In my opinion, if you compare the two side by side, they're almost two different products. One is an elite travel credit card with a ton of different benefits and credits that you can use to work down that annual fee. I see the Bonvoy Boundless as more of a supplemental card that can give you some great experiences and really a sweet welcome bonus to treat yourself to and really take advantage of. I don't want to compare the two head to head too much, and I think two different people are really looking at those cards very differently. Finally, I like to think about overall strategy when just getting a credit card. I always say that you should have a plan or a roadmap for how a card fits into your wallet, so when you look back a year or two from now, you don't regret the decision that you made. The cool thing about the Chase Marriott Bonvoy Boundless is that you can get value from it in a totally different way depending on how you want to use it. The one thing I would highly discourage is using this as your one card and your everyday spending card. However, you can add this card into a multi-card setup and be pretty flexible about how you do that because it's what I call a sustainable credit card. From a $95 annual fee that you get for free, a free night certificate on that could have a value of up to $250, all you have to do to make out in the green by holding this card is not spend on it or do anything too terribly difficult, but simply travel to a Marriott property at least once a year. If you're getting a Marriott credit card, I hope this is something you're considering doing. To consider getting the Boundless, I'd look for things in this order. First of all, I'd want a good catch-all card, one that got me 2% flat on everything. Then I'd add a good dining and food card, one that earns better multipliers than the Bonvoy Boundless. Then I'd look for a nice travel card, ideally something that earns me 5x back on flights. You could take the Venture X as an example there. And then I would add this as a supplemental card. Finally, building out my wallet and adding a hotel side with the Bonvoy Boundless. A good example wallet setup here would be the Citi Double Cash for 2% cash back on everything, the Amex Gold for food and dining, the Chase Sapphire Preferred as a low entry travel card, and then topping things off with the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless. It's certainly a late game credit card, but one that provides a ton of value and a lot of cool potential for experiences as well. From top to bottom, I hope you found this review helpful. If you have any questions about how the card works with the other Amex cards or Chase cards as well, I'm happy to answer those down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.